All right. So now I have here my paper and it's all set up. Now I did a quick little warm up for this section. So now this page from the top to the bottom is 11 inches. Okay. And then from here to here it's 9 inches. So going across. So you want to make sure you have a ruler that can definitely hit 11 inches by 9 inches. This little triangle does great, and it fits within my apparatus so I can move it around comfortably without running into things. But a regular ruler that came in your kit, that would be fine. You can draw on a smaller sheet of paper. You can draw on the full pad if you have it. It's whatever you prefer at this point. Now, so I made my mark for my 50-inch or 50% line. So right here you can see it's 50%. Not a big fan of that setting. You already are putting too much in the ceiling and not enough room for the floor. Okay, so I went up just a single inch, and I even put it right here, 1 inch. Key. This is the key part about all of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to get rid of this whole area. I put it there just for an example so you can see it on the video. Now, okay, that looks good to me. Got rid of that. Okay, now the next thing is the point. Okay, now if I am looking at a point that's straight and center, put it straight and center. So if I'm looking down my hallway and this is the end of the hallway and there's a door there, okay, my door, that door should be at the center where this dot is, okay? But say I'm on the far left of the hallway, and this is a wide hallway, okay? I want to make my dot move over a little bit to the left, all right? Or I want to make it move over to the right. Now, the second image, I'm going to do that. I'm going to move it slightly over because of the positioning of where I'm at in the room. Okay, so notice that on the next video. Now, once you have your line at 60%, okay, of the page, bringing it up just a little bit, all right. Next, I want to do my angles. Now, the first thing you want to know, okay, if your line goes at the bottom of the page, okay, so I can see my page right here, okay, my finger. If your line is going out here, this is wrong. Okay, you want to make sure it goes on the outer edge of the page on both sides. Okay, that's the first thing. All right. And does this have to be perfectly center? No, it's eyeballing it. All right, nothing about this has to be perfect. Okay, at the beginning. All right, because you can adjust. So I usually go about 1.5 inches up. So that's about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay. Let me measure it to see, I'll tell you. Shy of 1.5 inches, okay? All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the other side, okay? So using my straight ruler edge. So I'm going to go up about the same distance. About 1.5 inches or so. And that looks about right. Now, right now I have set up one wall on one side. Now I'm going to do the next one. So I want this to be similar, so I'm going to just take my ruler, make a little dot to help me so it doesn't get too askewed, but you can adjust it as you do this. So now I'm going to take my ruler and go across. All right. Next one I'm going to do is come right over here, do the same thing I did before, line it up with the same spot. Makes it a tiny bit easier for me. And then I'm going to come down and line it right up into my dot. And you should get a funky looking X. Okay? So far, one of the things, notice, I'm in portrait style here. I'm not landscape. I'm using the pad vertically. You can even notice it in the video. It's going to look a little different. Okay? Now, next thing is figure out how far that hallway is. Okay, well, I sent the picture, and when I take my hand, okay, in the hallway and I stretch it out, so when I'm stretching out, I am taking my two fingers, okay? I usually take my middle finger and my thumb, okay? And I use these two fingers, okay? Now, if you've seen videos from Kids in the Hall, I Smush Your Head videos, which most of you have never seen this. It's pretty funny. Check it out. Go YouTube that, okay? But it's where the person is taking their hand, okay, and they are putting these two fingers in front of their eyesight, okay, looking at the hallway. And this is a good measuring tool. So if you've ever seen artists where they're putting their thumb out, trying to get the angle, trying to get the depth, okay, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm using my fingertips. I find this method to be a lot more effective than this method, trying to fit everything on your thumb. To me, this doesn't make any sense to a beginner, but this does, okay? So I'm going to stretch out my hands, put them up to my eye, look out, and I want to keep my arm completely extend. Don't bring it up to your nose and come out. I want it to be completely straight out, okay? Like you're trying to reach for something, okay? As you put your eyes and your hands, I want you to focus on the bottom of the floor and the top of the ceiling, not the door itself, okay? Ceiling and the floor where it meets up at the wall and the door, okay? So I'm going to say, and I have a lovely picture here, I'm going to kind of use the guide from that you're looking at. So I'm going to say it's about yay big here. So I usually take my second hand, put it there as a marker for me. Now notice this. I want to have more room at the bottom than I do at the top, okay? Just like how I did the horizon. So I'm going to put it right here and right there, okay? There's more room here, less room there, all right? Now, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make a nice, lovely straight line, one side, okay? Now remember, these 4 lines I put in are arbitrary. They're guesstimates. They can be adjusted, and most likely they will be adjusted, okay? So now I'm going to come over here, use the edge of the page right here, okay, with your ruler. Make sure you get it nice and square. This is where a triangle works a little bit better. Or those T-squares that we had in the shop, that's why we have them in there, in the lab. Now I'm going to come over here. Using this corner, I'm going to bring this straight across all the way. Now, when we notice here, if we're lucky, it will line up, but it might not. So I'm going to line it up as straight as I can. I don't like this, has a little bevel on this. I'm going to bring this up. And I'm fortunate, this one does line up. Now, say you put your square in, and one of these lines are going like this, okay? And it's just a little shy. All you have to do is take your point and line it up to that point and go out. Now, some people will start by putting this square in. They'll put the horizon line, they'll put the square in. Either way works well with me. I like putting my hallways in first, then trying to figure out, does the depth look right? Okay?
Now I'm going to erase the inside of the square. Okay, I'm at 9 minutes right now.
Now I'm going to go down the hallway. I see 2 doors in my hallway. So my first door, I'm going to set up. Now it's going to be closest to the hall. Okay. So I want to make this one go all, I'm going to make doorways go all the way up. Okay. And I look at my spacing, and that feels about right with my hallway, with the gap there. Okay. Now the next one, it's going to be a little bit smaller, and it's got a little bit of a space between it. So I'm going to say it's right about there. Now this gap here has to be smaller for this one. Door frames are all the same size, so you want to make sure your door frame stays the same. Okay, so that feels pretty good. Pretty close to what the hallway feels like to me. Now, I'm going to do my next hallway. Now this hallway door and this door lines up pretty close to the same. So I'm going to come in here, line those lines up right there for my first dot. And I just painted that hallway so the door is, and the walls do not have art on it right now because it's freshly painted. Spent my vacation painting. Okay, so the next one, this door is going to be a little bit closer than the furthest door. And it's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to actually make this one a little bit bigger. That ruler shifted on me. Doesn't matter, I'm going to be erasing those lines anyway. Now, the next part is I measure from the top of the ceiling to the bottom of the door. Okay, so I'm going to say that that feels right about the hallway, a little bit higher. Looking at my picture there. And I'm going to put my door in. So now I got the top of the door, okay? And then over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Looking, I want to keep the same amount of depth so it feels the same. Okay? And then in the back of the hall, I have my door. So what I usually do is start with the top. If my lines come down, if I actually take this line, sometimes this helps me, and I bring that to there, then I know the top of my door needs to be about that high. So I'm going to make this line, use my edge of my page, my ruler. There we go. So that should be the top of my door. So I'm going to get the spacing of the door. And that feels a little weird in the spacing. I feel like I got this too far up, but that's okay for the demonstration. So I'm going to make this door feel a little bit more like the door itself. It feels a little wide. So I'm going to bring that in, balance it out. The next one I'll be a little bit more exact on. Okay. So now I need to get the baseboards. Quickly line it up with my dots here. Okay. If you notice I left a little gap because there's a baseboard going all the way around the door, I'm going to get that too. And you can overlap it if you need it to. Okay. Now I'm going to get the baseboard going around the door frame here. Okay. Going to get the baseboard a little thicker here. Okay. Over here, same thing. Always start with the outer door, closest side to me on the door frame. Oh, that is way too big. So let me make my adjustment here. And notice everything is straight up and down. Very vertical. If it feels off, just make your adjustments until it feels right. Okay. Over here, this one's going to be a little bit bigger because it's closer. Okay. Now I'm going to take the top of this one, line it up. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. Line it up. This is working on all the little details now. Okay.